Today, I'm going to share with you some tips that I learned while doing my 3-month road trip across America. When you go to national parks or state parks, usually they will give you a pamphlet or a leaflet of some kind. The national parks usually give you like a big one like this, which if I just unfold it for you, it will usually be a map. And it will usually give you a rundown, history, it will give you hikes, it will show you where to go. Always, always, always take one of these when you go to the national parks. Sometimes they won't give you a leaflet like this, but they will give you a newspaper. So this is for Death Valley. And here I have one from Yosemite. I brought back this massive stack of papers, which is really heavy, but it's great so I can show you. Yosemite is obviously a very famous national park, one of the most famous in America, probably in the world. If you see here, it will give you the different trails, and it will give you a list of how hard they are, how accessible they are, the length of them, where you get the shuttle from. So this is all super, super useful information, guys. You definitely want to take one of these when you get through the main entrance. And it will give you an overall map. So it will show you the main points, like Tulumi Meadows, depending how you drive through. We drove through Tioga Pass, so we went through Tulumi Meadows. But the main bit is Yosemite Valley, which is where most people go, where the waterfalls are, El Capitan. You got Hetch Hetchy in the north, which a lot of people don't go to because it's quite out of the way. And then Glacier Point, which is, you can only drive there, and that's really beautiful. So yeah, this is just so helpful, so useful. They will usually give you sections of the different places. They will usually give you information about where you can get, sorry, this thing's so big, where you can get food, where you can get drink, where there are toilets, where there are gift shops, where there are shuttles, everything. So they have here, look, this is the shuttle, the different colors, the different routes where they go to. So I use this a lot when I went to Yosemite. They do give you information about bears and how to protect yourself and to protect them as well, because if bears get unnecessarily injured and killed because of our neglectful behavior, then that's not good. I'm surprised, but people would often leave out food overnight and the bears would come and get the food, or people would actually try and feed the bears. Please don't do this. Never do this. It is a wild animal and it will mess you up. Another great tip is when you see a visitor center, stop there. So when you go across different states, they will usually have a visitor center. There you can get all these kind of brochures and information booklets about things. So this was in Arkansas, and this basically was free, which is great. And it gave you all the different state parks, which you could use to plan accordingly. See, I bookmarked some of the ones that I wanted to go to. I went to Crater of Diamonds State Park, and I just kind of chose, me and my husband looked through it and we were like, which ones do we fancy going to? Which ones are we going to prioritize on this trip? And I know we all have access to the internet, we all have access to phones, but there will be times where you might not have signal, where it's actually nice to kind of just flick through a book and have a look and then make notes by hand. If you're one of those people that you prefer that to electronic forms, then this can be good. This was really useful. This is in Arkansas. They had a waterfall guide. So they gave you a rundown of all of the waterfalls they have. And I just circled the ones that I wanted to go to. Obviously, I didn't go to all of them because the weather and because we couldn't get to them all. They show you. And also the waterfalls don't always look like this, depending on the time of year. When I went to Glory Hole Falls, it was like a literal trickle. So you might be a bit disappointed. It's just great because it gives you all of that information. And a lot of people that I met on the road trip, they just kind of use their phones and went on TripAdvisor and things like that. But I think it's so cool to get a little booklet and then keep it as a momentum, a souvenir, and have a look. There were so many places to get information on Route 66. So yeah, this was one of the many things that I got. But this was quite useful because, again, it's like a massive pull-out map all the way on the other side. So it tells you all of the towns that you're going to drive through and the highlights of those towns. So you can kind of see, you don't have to stop at all of them. It would take a long time unless you were just doing a specific all of Route 66 journey where you wanted to see them. But we kind of just picked and chose which ones that we thought were kind of cool. We really wanted to see this famous blue whale, but they were doing renovations to it, so the whole area was sectioned off, so that was a shame. But this year marks 100 years of Route 66, so I know that they are going to do lots of parties, they're going to do lots of events and things, so I think that would be really great time to see Route 66. It would be great to be a part of those festivities and celebrate the Mother Road. Anyway guys, I literally have a huge stack. If I showed you every single national park pamphlet and every single state park and every single everything, this video would be 10 hours long. So if you have any specific requests of anywhere that you would like to see, or you would like me to share some information, then let me know.